There we go. Good evening, Speed Gaming. Hello and welcome back for another Metroid Prime Cross Game Cup. We've got a very interesting race today, but before we get into that, we've got a little bit of setup work left to do, so please bear with us. We're a little bit behind schedule due to some time constraints. So while we get some setup going, I'd like to welcome you all for joining us here once again. My name's Marion Law, and I'll be your host for today. And joining me, I'm not running solo today. We've actually got a second commentator. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, Rico?
Hello, I am Rico V53.
Short and sweet, alrighty. Well, as stated, we're doing a cross game today, so every week we're going to change it off between the weeklies. It'll be cross game one week, and then it'll be either a prime weekly the next. But today we've fallen on top of what everyone loves, seeing four screens at once, Prime and Echoes going head to head. Which team can beat their game the fastest? Running today, what do we have today? Well, I'll tell you what we have. Over on our restream today, on the left, we have Orange versus Green, and on the right, Clever Spacers. Now, your following teams consist of Orange versus Green, riding with the Ginger Chris and Baja Blood, respectively, on your left. And on your right, Nye the Baff and Ilock Competencia, better known as Jay, on the right. Settings for today. Rico, do you want to go ahead and give us a rundown of what we can expect today when we start off?
Sure. For Prime, we have a random start, items, and elevators. And Echoes has a random start restricted to the light world only, as well as items, elevators, and translators. And I believe translators have the chance of being pre-unlocked.
They do indeed. So that means if we come across a translator elevator, let's say we go into GFMC compound, we want to get to FTA for that elevator. There's a chance it could be automatically unlocked, and we go right to it. As far as the random starts go, Echoes does have that restriction of light world only. Now, the reason we're throwing that restriction in there is for a little bit of safety and security with the seed. We don't want to do some immediate BK or damage logic in Dark World. We want to make it a fair race and a fun race for everyone. Like I said, it's to prevent Dark World BK mode, damage logic, and some possible no games.
But it's always so much fun to start right outside the door to Grapple Guardian.
Oh, yeah, let me tell you something. All right, you're bringing that up. That's a terrible thing to bring up. I had a multi about a month and a half ago. Started in Sacrificial Chamber without Scan Visor because, like a dummy, we shuffled Scan Visor. I was stuck staring at that Guardian for 3.5 hours before I got it.
That is amazing.
It was not. We got chat already saying what's going to happen. Prime's going to spawn in Elite Quarters without Plasma Beam. Well, Wyvern, that's just absolutely mean. I love it. Right, we still have Speed Gaming Techs working on the setup real quick. Many thanks to Samuel 6710 for the gatekeeping and setup work for his amazing job lately. Well, amazing job overall. So we're still working on the settings, trying to get everything nice and ready. But while we have that going on, any predictions for what's going to start off with, Rico?
I don't know. I'm kind of feeling a Sank start on the Echo side, just because that would be incredibly annoying.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Starting anywhere in Sank can be a headache. If I had to throw anything, Echoes, personally, I'm a huge fan of anywhere in Lower Torva start just because it's a massive pain. You have access to one elevator, and good luck trying to find your gravity boost. As far as Prime goes, where do we want them to start with? We could throw them somewhere in Farfandran, maybe over in Labs without Wave Beam. We could throw them somewhere in Magmor without Various Suit, which chat hinted at.
Prime start, cargo, freight lift, and the first Echoes items are getting them out of Frigate.
Oh, now you're just being absolutely harsh today, aren't you? I love it. This is great. I'm just gonna go ahead and get a quick update from our partners over at Speed Gaming real quick. Alright, so we've just given them the update. We're gonna wait to hear some feedback from them. Alright, with that being said, again, before we get started, I'd like to thank Speed Gaming for hosting these events for us. You know, also the Metroid Prime community as well, and most importantly, all of you watching at home and joining in on these events. You know, without everyone coming together, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you again for joining us today and all the other times to come. On that note, you will notice we do not have a tracker listed. For cross-game, we are mandating an auto tracker. That way it saves us the headache of trying to figure out which menu's the correct one in which game, and if we're going by too fast, there could be something easily missed. So that auto tracker is amazing. No, at the current moment, as stated, we're just waiting on some tech finalization from Speed Gaming side. Once Samuel's all set with Speed Gaming, once we get the all clear, we're gonna get the countdown started and we're gonna get this race rocking and rolling. One more thing, I'll point this out like I always do. If there's anything y'all want to, if you have any questions, concerns, if there's a trick you don't understand, if there's a logic train you want to point out, if we as commentators miss something, please, by all means, post your inquiries down below in the Twitch chat. We really could use the help sometimes, especially when so much is happening all at once. And we're here to help you out. We want to give you as much information and fun as possible. So we want to make your time here enjoyable as well. So if you're not having fun, if you're confused, I'm sure someone can help you out today. All right, with that being said, I'm just sitting here rambling while we wait for the countdown. And Rico, by all means, you're more than welcome to join in at any time to stop me from rambling.
Why? Then I'd have to be the one rambling.
Oh, congratulations. I see how it's going to be today. Okay. We have a question. I'm not going to answer that question because the answer is there is none. I'm sorry. There is no restroom today. Hopefully you've gone before you get on the ship to Talon 4. And hopefully you did it before stepping into Planet Aether. Let's see. They're still working on the cropping. So I guess while we sit here and wait, keep the audience entertained. How's everyone's day going today? Is everyone having a good day so far? What about you, Rico? How's your day going?
Okay.
Just okay?
I mean, could be worse.
I mean, we could be running the seed.
That potentially could be worse.
Yeah. I know you're a fan of Echoes, so I'm going to point this out. Were you here for yesterday's weekly?
No, I was not.
You dodged a huge bullet. I'll say this. We're coming off the cups of yesterday's Echoes weekly. To make it a long story short, there was an STK on Aerie, and in order to find the Echo Visor, you needed to defeat Chica for Echo Visor.
Oh, that is an amazing train of logic right there.
Here's the problem. Chica keys. One's on Hive entrance.
Oh, that hurts.
Yeah, it was fun. And I'm already saying don't spoil it. It's been out for over 24 hours. We're not spoiling anything. And don't worry, there's still a lot of headaches and content to watch in that weekly if you missed it. But don't worry, we're not going to spoil anything terrible for you.
I always hate when there ends up being something on Hive entrance. 'Cause technically that is hinted, but you almost never see the hint.
You don't really go through Sank Entrance specifically for the Cobalt hint at all. It's just not possible.
Well, there is a key bearer hint that, but the key bearer I think is only on like the third layer in Sank Entrance. So you have to get Dark Samus to blow up the bridge to even see the Hive entrance hint.
Yeah, and no one goes through the Sank Entrance that amount of times, especially in a race. You try to avoid it as much as possible.
Yep.
I will say, you could technically skip Light Suit by doing the out of bounds in Hive entrance to climb up the aim cache backwards, but oh, there we go. All right, we got the all clear from Speed Gaming. All right. All right, now real quick, audio-wise, since we do have 4 screens going, the team or the player currently in the lead, that audio will be the primary one coming through. And again, the tracker is an auto tracker, so you don't need to worry about us missing something. It'll happen automatically through Randovania. Once again, on your left, we have Team Orange versus Green with TGC and Baja Blood. On your right, we following with Clever Spacers with Nye and Jay. And we're being informed that we need to defeat Spider Guardian for it, and yes, TGC's tracker is incorrect. We are showing an Echoes tracker on a Prime game. We're gonna have to get that fixed in just a second. Please bear with us while we fix that. Countdown has started. We are going to start this nonsense off momentarily, and TGC might change his tracker in time. We'll figure that out later. All right, here you go, folks. Here's what we're starting with: Echoes, Dark Visor Missile Launcher, and Seeker Launcher. Prediction: I'm going somewhere in Torvis, especially with that Seeker Launcher. Prime is starting over in Fendrana Drifts with Grapple Beam, Plasma Beam, and Wave Beam. Okay. Right away, we've got a handful of checks available. Meanwhile, Echoes is starting over in Temple Grounds, over in Sacrificial, over in Sacred Path, sorry. Oh, hey, we got a... Well, Dark Visor and Secrets lets us get through Sacred Path right into GFMC Compound. That gets us a crate item. Prime being over in Fendrana Drifts, over underwater with Grapple Beam. Wave Beam lets us get through Fendrana Drifts anyway. We need it just to progress. An Emerald Translator on Echoes. And it looks like Jay might have had a frozen restream. All right.
Well, with that emerald, they can just turn around and go back through the temple.
They could. They go right through FTA. But right now, Prime is only missing Ice Beam to really get this game moving. And we have an Echo's main power bomb here. Oh, and TGC almost had it, but he missed the final jump. And so did Jay. So close. Unfortunately, you're relying on the little critter flying around to grab your grapple beam. Runner's agreements. There are no runner's agreements. We are running on standard settings. We do have an Echo's bomb hiding underneath the water. I'm going to say this right now on behalf of us. Yes, I see that we have Echo's tracker everywhere. We have a Prime tracker with Jay's side. TGC has been alerted about the tracker issue. It's up to TGC to change it on his own. We can't do that. Real quick, we're going to apologize. Riku and I are going to apologize in advance for this. Both of us are more familiar with Echoes compared to Prime. Unfortunately, we cannot get a Prime restream volunteer in time due to the ongoing mentor tournaments and various language tournaments happening. So we apologize if your Prime commentary is a little bit lacking today.
Flamethrower
We have flamethrower and communication area being sent over to Prime. Over on Jay's side.
So J is valid.
Yes, J is now valid. And we're taking a reset immediately. Since we sent both Echo's items, we're now going to reset and go the opposite direction. We're going to continue through Fendrana Drift. Well, we have Wave Beam, that gets us a lot of items. Ice Beam, we can check Ice Ruins east and west, thankfully, melt the ice.
And there is Ice Beam.
Well, look at that! Prime's got all their beams! We're not even 5 minutes in. Congratulations, Prime. Hope you know where you're going, because we got a lot of stuff open. Oh, we appear to be having some slight technical difficulties with TGC. We apologize. Oh, there we go. Oh, and Prime's got their space jump. How lovely. Prime space jump over in Fendrana, of all places. It looks like we can't do anything without Ice Beam, so Prime was locked behind Far Fen without that Ice Beam due to a locked door. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that. Once again, we're sorry. Both of us are a little bit more familiar with Echoes than we are with Prime, but we will do our best. Rico, you're going to have to take over for a few minutes. I need to take care of a tech issue.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, actually, no. Sorry. I apologize. We've just been given new information from our gatekeeper. We're gonna have to put this race on hold. We apologize, everyone. This race is currently terminated. Due to a settings issue, we will have to generate a new seed. So we apologize, but this race will have to come to a momentary pause. I sincerely apologize. We were just given this information. We are going to have to generate a new seed with a new start location. There was a seed error. So please bear with us. Due to a setting issue, we have to re-roll it. We're going to get more information from our gatekeeper, TGC, so please bear with us momentarily. But while we do this, you're more than welcome to watch them go through this nonsense. We're going to get you as much information as possible. Oh, yeah, okay. Nope, here's the problem. It was a logic chain issue that could have caused a dead game. Due to a bug with Sky Temple Gateway Elevator, that elevator was shuffled, and it can cause Echoes to crash and black screen. So because of that, this makes the seed unbeatable, and we need to remove that elevator from the rotation. And yes, we did remind TGC about his tracker. Yeah, there's a logic issue with the Sky Temple Gateway elevator. If that elevator is shuffled, it can lead to impossible seeds where you don't need all the keys. Well, no, you still need the keys, so it would send you right to Gateway.
You do need the keys because if you try to fight Dark Samus without the keys being in, it'll cause a crash.
Yeah, there's where the problem leads. We just want to minimize the risk of possible crashes. So. Well, congratulations, Prime. You got all 3 beams in 5 minutes, and you had to re-roll your seed. Congratulations. That's not going to happen again. Oh, God. This seed is something else. So while we wait for our gatekeeper, TGC, to take care of this. We're just gonna sit here, and Rico and I are gonna talk to you with various stories, and we're gonna have a short little story time to keep you entertained while...
Oh, Lightbeam was in labs.
That's a terrible place for it.
Especially because it looks like Prime doesn't have missiles, so they can't even get it.
No, they can't. You can't destroy the glass. You could try plasma beam. You can melt the glass. What if you use ice beam and freeze the glass? Nope. Sorry. You need to blow it up with a powerful explosive.
There was an Echo's ball upgrade too. Wow.
Jeez, Phazon Labs. Phazon Labs. Phendrana Labs is just loaded right now. Well, while we do that, how do we keep the chat entertained while we get set up going again? Huh. No, you don't get to enjoy the silence, chat. You're forced to listen to us whether you like it or not. I'm sorry, but this is the selection you have today. Don't worry, we're here to have a good time. We're here to make this seed fun. Hopefully. I'm just gonna keep rambling while I sit here and look at chat. Alright, well, we do have a quick little update to the seed. Not a big one, but team names have been swapped. It's still the same players, but we have swapped out team name. Which one do we swap? I need to look that up again. We have swapped. Nope, we swapped Clever Spacers. Nope, we're still using Clever Spacers. Nope, no, we did swap, but we swapped Clever Spacers for Last Sentinels. So it's still 9J, just under a different name. Yeah, this is the most confusing CGC I've been part of. Glad I'm not running it.
You know, with how that seed was dumping items, it probably would have been pretty jet if it could be completed.
I agree with you. I mean, Prime had practically every area open to them thanks to all three beams. They could get almost any check in Phendrana. I mean, granted, you're missing boost ball, so you can't. But Space Jump was right around the corner. Oh, and I forgot to mention for settings, Echo's settings. We do have multiplayer items shuffled as well, according to the information provided. And Cannonball is part of that shuffle. In my opinion, Cannonball is one of the most broken items of all of Echoes, outside of Screw Attack.
Yeah, that's why the game's not supposed to let you keep it.
Nope. And that's why we use game-breaking bugs and glitches to let us keep it.
One of the funny quirks of Cannonball is that it actually makes it impossible to break the glass to get into Airy.
Yep, the game doesn't recognize it as a technical boost ball. So, unfortunately, that glass does not register any new hits. Which is hilarious if you try to do it yourself. Give yourself Cannonball and try to break the glass into area. Watch what happens. All right, for those of you just tuning in, welcome to Speed Gaming. Thank you for joining us here today for another episode of our Metroid Prime 1 and 2 Cross Game Weekly. Unfortunately, due to a settings error, we did have to terminate the race and regenerate it. So we are still currently in a setup mode. We sincerely apologize for the delayed start today. But due to the previous setting, if we were to continue with it, we would have created an impossible seed. We apologize once again for all the trouble, but we do have our speed gaming tech Sam and our gatekeeper TGC working hard and fast to get this new seed up and running for us. So with that being said, my name is Marion Law. With me today is Rico V53. I'm sorry. Rico and I will be your hosts for today. We'll be guiding you through this 4-game bunch of nonsense. And again, for those of you just joining us today, or joining us previously, here are the current updates and rule settings. Number 1, this is a double game system. We have Prime and Echoes for both teams. One team member will be playing each game. And the goal is to complete both games the fastest. Whichever team completes both games with other settings applied will be declared the winner. Individual game settings are as followed. Metroid Prime will be starting in a random location with a random number of items and random elevators. Echoes will have random start, restricted to light world locations only, random items, random elevators, and random translator gates with the possibility of unlocks, meaning that a gate could already be unlocked and all you need is scan visor to lower it, no special translator.
And of course, multiplayer pickups are included in the Echoes item pool, which means that the Echoes player can get unlimited beam ammo, unlimited missiles, and double damage, as well as cannonball.
You know what? Since we have the time here, Rico, how good is cannonball for Echoes? You know, I've never picked that up in a vanilla playthrough.
Cannonball is actually amazing. So it does a separate type of damage, and it does a ridiculously huge amount of it to enemies that are weak to it. Like, Resbits will just disappear if you touch them with Cannonball. Probably the biggest essentially skip you can do with Cannonball is adult Shika. If you get underneath the little tail and you clip it, just ends the phase instantly.
Yeah, the developers really never programmed Chica and Cannonball to go hand in hand. You're never in a Cannonball state outside of an warp cannon, so I think the last count it did was 500,000 hit points of damage per frame.
Yeah, and I believe it does double damage to anything weak to it, which is Resbits are weak to that, so they take like a ridiculously high amount. So at least like 1 million damage per frame.
That's great. Getting bullied by Resbits, especially in Watch Station. It's like, oh, I can't keep making the jump. I can't do this puzzle because I'm getting shot by a Resbit. Well, you know what? There's a cannonball right to the face. What are you gonna do now?
And yes, Cannonball is great for Spider Guardian because while you are in Cannonball, you are invincible. You cannot take damage. So that includes dark, aether, atmospheric damage. So you can essentially use Cannonball to skip light and dark suit in various locations. Or just to give yourself a little more time to think. Another good thing about Cannonball is that when you have it, it gives you essentially a pseudo boost ball. So you can boost and do boost puzzles minus the glass to Airy with Cannonball. But, you know, you have to be vigilant not to lose it in a place that it can get you stuck. Because if you go through a cannon or you reload a save, you will lose Cannonball.
And with that being said, we are getting the all clear from TGC. We're getting everything rocking and rolling in the next few minutes here. We've got the all clear. So once again, for those of you tuning in just now or might have missed the updates, as far as trackers go, we're using an automatic tracker as seen in the center of your screen. We have what do we have? We have Team OVG, orange versus green on the left-hand side, and we have 9J followed with Team Last Sentinels on the right. Like stated, one player from each team will be running each game. The goal is to beat both games as fast as possible. Now, compared to other multi-worlds, this is a cross game. So similar to a multi-world. So let's say Prime's items could be scattered somewhere in Echo's. Echo's progression is somewhere scattered in Prime, or it's in their own game. Who knows? It's a complete utter mystery. But I guess we'll do this then. Rico, do you have any predictions for what's going to happen today as we restart this?
Well, since that last seed had all beams within 5 minutes, you're not getting beams in this one.
No beams at all, okay.
I believe final bosses are on. I didn't see anything in the notes saying they weren't.
Nope, I don't have any information on it. Looks like final bosses are turned on for both games. So that includes all 3 phases of the Emperor Ring and Dark Samus 3 and 4, followed by Metroid Prime Essence and Ridley, and Metroid Prime Core.
Oh, there's another thing that Cannonball makes trivial. The second phase of Emperor Ing.
Oh yeah, you just don't take damage at all, just roll around him at the speed of sound.
And the little tentacles and inglets can't knock you off the cocoon.
Yeah, that's fair. You know what? I'd say this. My favorite use of Cannonball, outside of Chica, and that's so widely used and known, I gotta give it to Powerbomb Guardian. I can't stand that fight, and having Cannonball there just makes it so much easier. Mainly because I suck at it.
Yeah, you are immune to the power bomb, so it can't knock you off the track. The only thing that can make you fall off the track is your own stupidity. So naturally, I still fall off the track a lot.
Yeah, I understand that. Yes, we have no runner's agreements today. We're going off the base settings for both. Following that, final bosses are turned on, as previously stated. And who knows what bosses could be taken. You might need to fight Chica, you might need to fight Omega Pirate, you could fight Thardus. No, it's a complete... You never know what's going to happen in these sort of games. But we do have the race going, we have the countdown started. We'll be joining this momentarily. There's the countdown. And real quick, audio, since we are watching 4 screens, audio will go to the player or team currently in technically the lead. Alright, so today we have another Phendrana Drift start with Prime, and Echoes is starting over an Aegon Temple. Prime starting with Missile Launcher and Morph Ball. It looks like we're starting over in Ice Ruins. I believe that's east. Ice Ruins east for Phendrana. Lock right behind a missile door, which thankfully we have Launcher for. We're not going to fight Bomb Guardian immediately, as we can't technically get out. But we are going to go over to Phendrana Shoreline to see what's on the boost ball check. So it looks like Portal XSA and Aegon. Space, so Echoes already has space jump.
Now they can get out of Bomb Guardian.
Yeah, we can just jump right over the door. Speaking on that, Fendrana Shorelines is hiding Spider Ball for Prime. Now this gets us into... This gets us a few checks. We could get into a Quarantine Cave if we wanted. But we don't have Wave Beam, so we don't really want to go there quite yet. And again, we're going to apologize. Rico and I are a little bit more specialized in Echoes compared to Prime. So your Prime information today for the CGC might be a little bit lacking due to the ongoing Prime tournaments. And Rico, I apologize if I cut you off at any time. I talk fast and it's a bad habit.
Don't worry about it.
So please, by all means, don't be afraid to jump in. If you see something, by all means, say it. Because I'm partially blind.
So Baja is grabbing a power bomb expansion early by using the War Wasp Hive to jump up on top of that little rock formation.
It's always a neat trick. I like that little it's not really out of balance, but it's a nice standable.
That trick is not in logic for these settings, though, because it only works on that specific layer.
Right. You would need bombs to do a triple bomb jump to get on top of it originally. And looks like Jay and TGC both have flamethrower. Our prime runs are now validated.
And we have another interesting thing about Echoes down there. A lot of those early game bosses are not programmed to resist power bombs because you're not supposed to have them. And Violet Translator on Bomb Guardian.
Oh no! Oh no! Screw Attack is locked behind the ice!
That is hilarious.
Oh, you're not getting that for a while, Echoes. I'm sorry. Alright, I'm going to focus most of my attention on Pride, and then I'll try to follow along with it.
So with the items they have, there's not a lot. Oh, there is Logical Missile Launcher for Echoes, locked behind bombs or main PBs.
Yeah, so we have a transport to Chozo Ruins East. That's a good elevator to have. Chozo Ruins anywhere is really good, especially with Chozo being a hub area. Alright, now TGC is deciding, do we want to go over to Chozo right now? Nope, we're going to go do more information and do more Fendrana information. But unfortunately, Jay, you don't have Spring Ball or anything to get out. Sorry. Let's see, Ice Ruins West. Ice Ruins West, we can't do much in. We don't have Space Jump. We can't get on top.
Yeah, it looks like that elevator in Aegon was almost vanilla, and there are main PB. That looks like main PBs in Taz.
We have chat ask which elevator that was. That elevator was Aegon entrance to Temple Assembly site. And yes, elevators are randomized, so they are locked between regions. And Jay, you don't want to scan the little pill bug, you want to scan the door to unlock it.
So that missile launcher is now in logic.
Right, as we now have the main power bombs, as Logic Train does not account for expansions. Right now, TGC is waiting on progression to move. We don't have Space Jump. We already checked everything we can. We need Wave Beam to progress deeper into Fendrana, and we need bombs to progress through Chozo Ruins on the east side.
We have Baja continuing through the GFMC loop.
We're finding a missile expansion on communication area.
Personally, I think I probably would have gone the other way down through the hive.
Yeah.
Because if you do not have normal bombs in your inventory, you can dupe DMT just by reloading the room. What do we got?
Well, we found Prime Space Jump. It's locked behind the ice as well.
Oh wow!
We need Plasma Beam to get Prime Space Jump. So it has to be either somewhere in Deep Chozo behind bombs, or it has to be locked in an echo somewhere. Oh, that's terrible. And I agree with you with the hive chamber loop. Go with hive chamber A and B. You have power bombs. You defeat a bomb guardian, get DMT out of the way. God forbid if it has something.
Yeah, and if it happens to have something dupable, you can dupe it as many times as you want without having to refight Bomb Guardian.
Which is always a nice little trick.
Yeah, so the Dark Missile Trooper is dupable 2 ways. It will respawn every time Bomb Guardian is killed, so if you do not pick up the item, Bomb Guardian will respawn the next time you reload the room. Or if you just don't have bombs in your inventory, it will keep spawning every time you reload.
Well, hey, if you want some free items.
Now, you can only dupe items for your own game, unfortunately. You can't just send your partner, like, 70 missile expansions off of DMT. Though that would be fun.
Yeah. Alright, we're going to see what's over on top of Ice Tower. Let's see, what is that? Various suit and on top of Ice Tower. You gotta be kidding. Nothing that's observatory. Well, we don't have what we need to get various suit. We need... Well, no, we have Spider Ball, but I believe we're missing... It's either supers or plasma.
So where can Prime even get to with what they have?
Currently nowhere. There's no elevator accessible, unfortunately. We need Wave Beam to progress into... To really get anywhere deep into Fendrana. We could probably go... We don't have Space Jump either, so we can't really get all the way over to where Wave Beam usually is, with Mama Sheegoth. We need Space Jump to access that area.
And Hive Chamber B is another Power Bomb expansion.
And thank you, chat. It's Supers locking it, not Plasma. Thank you for the correction. But yeah, right now Prime is in logical BK mode, or Burger King mode. If there's an STK on Grand Wind Chamber, that's terrible.
Hate to see that.
Yeah. As stated, Prime right now cannot do anything. It is a full Echoes game until Prime either gets Wave Beam, Space Jump, which they can't get, Plasma Beam especially, or bombs.
Plasma Beam on DMT.
Really? Oh, that's terrible. It's great because that means Prime gets the Space Jump of Ice Ruins East.
So yeah, doing that first would have paid off.
You're absolutely correct. And unfortunately, Nye's over in Grand Wind Chamber. He's far away from it.
Yeah.
And there's Screw Attack to...
Those are beautiful dashes, though.
But what's going on with Nye here in Grand Wind Chamber, Rico? What's going on?
Looks like Nye is going for some E-dashes or extended dashes. So basically what he was doing was he was capturing the speed and momentum from a dash using the R button to, right as he hits the ground and the dash ends, initiate another dash before friction has a chance to reduce your speed. Because movement in the Prime games is incredibly broken and physics don't really exist.
Speaking of physics, I'd like to quickly point out with TGC on Prime. Prime's Morph Ball bombs are over in Ice Ruins West, also behind. Everything's behind the ice. So, Jay can't do anything until Plasma Beam's acquired, which Nye most likely is going for now, as there's no checks left for him outside of Hive Chamber. PGC, thankfully, he's got his bombs, so we're able to access access the observatory and get further into Fendrana. But unfortunately, if Mama Sheegoth has nothing, we do have to go back to Chozo East. We're going to find out hiding behind this. Oh, another STK. And unfortunately, I'm not familiar what room name that is, but that's underneath the statue locked behind Plasma Beam.
If what is this, Ice Temple isn't
Yeah.
vanilla, it's a dead end.
Yeah, they cannot get out without Wave Beam here.
And they're lacking power bombs, so they can't attempt to lockpick.
And it is not Wave Beam, it looks like. So they cannot progress further this direction. TJC has to go through Chozo Weaves and continue that way. Meanwhile, thanks to Echoes having Space Jump Screw Attack, we're able to just easily skip this puzzle here in Central Mining Station and grab the Artifact of Strength. Oh, I see. Mamashi got this Chapel of the Elders. Ice Temple is the ice. Okay, I see where I made the error.
Yeah, I do not know Prime room names. Honestly, I don't even know a lot of Echo's room names.
That's fine. That's what we're here together for. We're here to help each other out.
And Nai is about to pick up that plasma beam, which this is another boss that does not resist power bombs.
Power bombs are just broken on everything. The game doesn't expect you to come back to early areas with power bombs, with it being such a late game item. And right now,
that is death.
Yeah, it was intentional though. Baja cannot progress further through Aegon Labs without bombs or Dark Beam. Unfortunately, since we have neither of those, we do have to take the death. Well, we don't need to take it, but it's a lot faster going back to Industrial Site. Well, that being said, we're going to continue through Chozo. We're going to fight our first Chozo ghosts. Thankfully, due to Plasma Beam, we are able to access another area. Yeah, let's leave it at that. And unfortunately, these Chozo ghosts are only damageable by Power Beam and Super Missiles. We don't have supers, so we gotta fight them with the big old lemons.
What's the lore on that? Like, Power Beam works because it's like not a natural energy source, right?
Either that, or it could have been designed by the Chozo, and because of that, it specifically harms that. But there are ghosts, so I don't see how it's damaging them at all. I haven't the faintest idea, but there looked like another ST case, so I could have been wrong, but I think we already got that one. So we have an elevator to Sank Vault side, which is good. Aegon portal access, which is great if we can get Dark Aegon. Temple Transport Amber, not terrible. Sanctuary Spider side's amazing once we actually have Spider Ball. A lot of good Echoes elevators. Meanwhile, TGC moving through Upper Furnace thanks to Spider Ball, and we're finding Light Beam in Upper Furnace. Well, no, sorry. It looks like Power Beam was blessed by a priest. That's why it damages the ghosts. Yeah, I'll accept that, yeah. And Baja's going to find the information that Ing Reliquary has the key. Meanwhile, TGC is going to do the smart thing and scan it and see that it's Cannonball. So we know.
Yeah, you don't want to send that to your partner early.
No, because God forbid you lose that, you are not getting it back without doing some tricky cannon manipulation. There are a few rooms that can do it, but the most viable for Cannonball would be Worker's Path over in Sank. So it looks like TGC is making a beeline for Zoid. Thankfully, due to bombs, we can get out of this, so it's not a dead-end check. But we do have two items here on Zoid, the robot itself and the rubble behind him. Meanwhile, Boost Ball is being found. Looks like Boost Ball is found in Antechamber. And Dark Aegon Key 2 sent over to Baja.
It appears that Nai is opting for life and will just walk back.
Yeah, since where's my? Oh, there it is. It could be possible Nai wants to go over towards. No, he
Or they
can't
didn't
set no
save. I
bombs.
wasn't paying attention. They probably just didn't save.
Yes, boost ball was an antechamber, which was located by Jay.
Now,
The reason we
sorry.
didn't get it. Sorry, no, you're okay. The reason we skipped boost ball is we can't get out. We need ice beam to leave antechamber, and we don't have it.
Oh, that was nice on Baja's side, first try. So what Baja did was they used the little fin towards the back of the room that is jutting out of that platform as a slope to jump off of to get a little more height, and then they screw attack canceled themselves onto that little lip above the glass. And from there, you can just do a normal screw attack to get into the wind chamber item. It's a lot trickier than it sounds in practice. Like, it's really easy to just fall off of that tiny little standable point.
I absolutely encourage anyone, if you want to learn some Prime to Echo's tricks, learn Grand Wind Chamber Skip. It will save you a lot of time. And with that, Jay just found Light Beam in Upper Furnace, which has been sent over to Nai. So, which is good, but that gets us over to Sand Canyon. But we can do Sand Canyon. We have screw attack power bombs.
And with screw attack, the going through labs backwards is not a dead end because you can open the gate with screw attack.
Yeah, that's good, but don't you still need Dark Beam to get out of Dark Samus 1?
No, that light crystal will activate if you hit it with screw attack.
Oh, no, I'm aware of that, but you get again the item. Isn't that a Dark Beam door on the opposite side?
Yes, but there's other places you can go to.
That's fair.
And you can still see what it is. I always fear the vanilla dark beam.
It's happened before, and it's horrible to watch it being a dead end check to get it. All right, so let's see. We're 18 minutes in. Current update. We have Baja working through the Dark Alpha Splinter, Albert the Alpha Splinter.
So this boss, in vanilla, if you have power bombs here, you can actually screw yourself over because a power bomb will kill the light Alpha Splinter. And if he's dead, you can't fight Dark Alpha Splinter. The randomizer actually fixes that. And yeah, it's still powerbomb will just melt the Dark Alpha Splinter, so.
Well, there's Echo's bombs. They're hiding on top of where Charge Beam. Well, that's not really where Charge Beam is. What is that? But you need Spider Ball regardless to get Echo's bombs. Well, that lets them get into and Grapple Beam, of course. Well, now we're gonna check the water under Watery Hull. Locating its unlimited beam ammo, which can be good. TGC's going for it, and he got it first try. Upper Dynamo, thank you, chat.
And Nye doing Dark Samus 3 strats on Dark Samus 1. Still works.
TGC, you got so close, but amazing first try Watery Hull skip. But Dark Samus 1, what did DS1 have? Nothing useful. Oh, it's hard watching 4 screens at once.
Yeah, I didn't see what was in the door.
I didn't either. Yeah, I'm just gonna focus most of my time here on Prime, since you know more on Echoes than that. Try to cover all 4.
It was a beautiful screw attack by Nye there. So when you are in screw attack, the game actually gives you essentially the hitbox of your morph ball form. So you can use screw attack to get through morph ball sized holes. It is a fantastic thing for getting yourself out of bounds. Because if you screw attack into a morph ball tunnel, a lot of times the game will blow you out of bounds when you go back to full height.
Speaking of which, Emerald Translator on Chozo Grapple Ledge over in Chozo in the Plaza area. And we're going to take a peek at the tree item. Can we see what the tree item is? Well,
I thought that was a missile, but I could be wrong.
I would agree. I was about to say emerald. Does it look green? But with emerald being on grapple ledge, it physically cannot be. So, yeah, I would agree with you. And we're going to see over here in Vanilla Morph Ball, as we darken the room to fight the ghosts again. I shouldn't say again, it's our first time entering the room. But due to Zoid being defeated, it's a missile. And speaking of which, going out of bounds, as you mentioned, Rico, Nye is now out of bounds. Just skip the ghost, we don't need that. And Jay is also going for Watery Hall. Missed it the first time. Unfortunately, due to lack of health, we cannot do it again. We have a question in chat. It looks like, can someone screw attack Grapple Guardian's grapple? That screw attack's not really used too terribly much in the Grapple Guardian fight. But can it screw attack the grapple beam itself? I've never tried it. Never come to light.
Oh, Jay sent Nye the cannonball. That's why they're doing this.
Yeah.
So normally you would not want to have cannonball until after you have opened that pathway through, because the only other way to get into this room is via cannons.
You have to go through portal access A if you don't open. Well, you can open it because the gate's locked from transit station. So it's required out of bounds due to cannonball. And congratulations, TGC, you found nothing on Hive Mecha. But we are going to continue backwards through Hive Mecha, and this is going to give us an elevator.
So how this room works is the Dark Aether Portal is actually activated by that third block right there. So you don't have to do the entire puzzle. You only need to break that third one. And you can do that either by hitting it with a screw attack or just getting onto that platform and going up to hit it with a bomb.
And speaking of which, Baja has found super missiles, but I can't recall where the heck he found them at. Looks like Vault has something important. Yep, it's our first E-Tank. Oh, heck yes, we'll take an E-Tank.
And Nye is the first Echoes player to enter the Dark World.
Yeah, Dark Samus 1 only had a expansion. We don't need it. We're going to find out on the grapple ledge. Another Emerald Translator, this time on Jay's side.
I couldn't see what the item at the top of that half pipe was.
Nope, I got no view of it. I'm a little concerned, though. I don't recall where Baja got supers at, though.
Neither do I.
Which helps me that he could go straight for Storage C and get through
I
the
would.
block. Alright, so we got an E-Tank over with Jay over in Chozo Vault. Meanwhile, TGC is taking the elevator to Phazon Mines. Oh, we really don't want to go to Phazon Mines.
And Baja just skipping Boost Ball entirely.
And that is why we have Cannonball. To get ourselves a missile expansion. And it's not even ours. We get an elevator to Talon Overworld South, courtesy of Chozo Far.
Okay, so what Nye is doing here, shooting out into the emptiness, Nye is actually shooting at Jump Guardian. So Jump Guardian's hitbox is actually loaded into this room before you trigger the cutscene. So you can see that Nai has taken down almost all of the Jump Guardian's health and just needs to shoot it to end the fight. For one reason or another, you cannot kill Jump Guardian outright before it's visible. So even if you do all of its health worth of damage, you still have to shoot it once.
If I had to throw a suspicion on that, most likely it's due to the cutscene trigger. If Jump Guardian spawns in with the cutscene, he's got no health to really render. So trying to put Jump Guardian to an instant death state, it could possibly be a game crash. I don't know. I don't know specifically, but that's what I'm going with. Meanwhile, we're fighting Flagra. Hello, Flagra. Do you have anything useful for us today? Probably not. You've had expansions the last few times.
You know, with cutscene skip, it really does kind of make this boss fight a little trivial.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll give you that. Oh, I saw it. Power Bomb expansion on the half pipe. We don't really need it. And Scourge C hides missile expansion over an Aegon. And Flagra is defeated. What do you have? I called it! It's another expansion! The only thing he's had the last few times. But we do have another artifact courtesy of bioenergy production over with Aegon. I'm going to write that one down. And it looks like we're going for a secret door skip over on Nye's side.
So Screw Attack will destroy those Seeker nodes. Why, I couldn't tell you, but it does. So jumping in a specific manner will allow you to hit 4 of the 5 nodes. So you just need to hit the 5th one with a missile and time it right.
And due to all 5 being technically hit around the same time, it counts as a secret door unlock and lets us through.
And we see TGC going for Wild.
And keeps the Hive Temple, which we don't care about, as they can all be skipped. It looks like Nye's moving for Hull of the Honored Dead. Thankfully, we don't need Secrets to get out, as we can Screw Attack into the Morph Ball Tunnel and go out of bounds.
Or you could just instant morph into the tunnel too.
Or the instant morph, that would be easier.
Personally, yeah, I find the instant morph easier. I don't know what it is about that tunnel, but it's just really weird to hit. And there is an STK.
Really? We're finding STKs like crazy.
I mean, you definitely want to see that because Echoes is usually the slower of the 2 games, so every little bit helps.
Yeah, especially going between Light World, Dark World, trying to find the right path. Your translator gates locking a huge chunk of gameplay. It looks like Jay's trying to go over the door here in Root Tunnel. That's probably not even the right name, but still, we're trying to go over the door so that we don't have to scan all the Chozo artifacts. Dark Aegon Key 3 on Artifact of Wild. Well, if Worms is
Tree Chamber?
Yeah, that sounds right. And he does get it in a handful of tries, so good work on that.
Yeah, and if you were watching Nye's screen, that thing that happened to him is kind of what I was getting at. If you don't get far enough into the tunnel with the Screw Attack, it'll just spit you out of the tunnel.
And at the same time, Jay is now fighting Flagra over in Sun Chamber. So, if Jay goes back, thanks to Spider Ball, which he does have, we'll be able to get another Dark Aegon key.
Yeah, so CJ is doing essentially the first tunnel vanilla, and then just jumping to the platform to bomb the other tunnels from the outside. And for some reason, this works.
Yeah, another trick to mention over on Baja at the bottom left side of your screen. We can see Baja attempting to perform a bomb jump, or in this case, he's doing a triple bomb jump, in order to get an instant unmorph so that he can perform a space jump. And that space jump gives us just enough height to get a little bit of the ledge where the gate lock is. And thanks to the gate not having collision all the way up, it's only on the gate itself. we can jump right over the gate since we did not unlock it the first time going through here in Mining Station A. And as soon as we're finished.
And Jay is going for early wild as well.
Oh,
So,
Jay never got Spider Ball.
yep. So this is, I believe, called an infinite bomb jump, and it essentially works by getting yourself wedged into that collision there to slow down your fall just enough that you can keep bomb jumping up the spider track.
And it looks like TGC has finally sent over the cannonball. They've agreed to send it now, since they can safely get through Portal Terminal. And we're at Early Wild with Jay once again. We're going to pick up that Dark Aegon key momentarily, while Nye heads towards Vent Area A to another elevator. The Cannonball is really good for Baja right now. We're making our first dip into Dark Aegon with Jump Guardian's Chambers. But having Cannonball, we're just going to not take damage from Dark Aether.
And also, since he hasn't found Boost Ball yet, he can open Boost Ball puzzles wherever he's going.
And thankfully, there are no cannons in Dark Aether for Dark Aegon to really worry about. Actually, I don't think there are any period in Dark Aegon. Congratulations, Jay. You've picked up a Dark Aegon key. Once you defeat that pesky little ghost who likes to keep moving everywhere. And TGC taking a safe
Okay, I saw it that time. Looked like an E-tank.
off of the screw attack thing in main reactor.
No, the half pipe.
Which half pipe?
The one. Oh, what's that room called?
One in Aegon?
Yeah, the one in Aegon.
No, Crossroad. Crossroad, yeah, Crossroad or Crossway, one of the two. Right. Transit station you need to go through, but we don't have Boost Ball. And Baja came oh so close to triggering Jump Guardian just there. The trigger for Jump Guardian is by entering the safe zone in the center of the room. And unfortunately, Baja was oh so close to clipping inside it. And oh, we're going for a worm. We're going for Wormy. We got all three keys.
I was just about to ask if you thought he was going to go for it.
Well, you're running low on checks at the moment. You have one translator, which is Emerald. So if and the elevators don't do him much good either. We think Spider Side, sure, but we don't have Spider Ball. We can get a few tricks out of logic with screw attack, but not many. And unfortunately for Jay, we got to go back through the door here in Great Tree Chamber, as we still did not open the door.
With Cannonball and Light Beam, it should be fairly simple to get off the worm skip if Baja knows it, which I believe they do.
Oh yeah, he's familiar with it. But since you brought it up, since we have a little bit of downtime in Prime, what exactly is worm skip?
So basically what you're doing is you're trying, as you'll see Baja setting it up here, is you want to damage both of the second stage Amorbus worms before the first one gets into the ground. This will cause the cutscene not to trigger, and the third phase will proceed with 2 worms instead of 3. Now, if you attempt to do that again on these 2 worms, you will soft lock yourself in this room because you need the Amorbus cutscene to trigger to end the fight.
Yep, and with that being said, it looks like
Baja had me worried there for a second.
yeah, this is very important to point out for any of you who want to try worm skip. Do not do worm skip twice. Do not do worm skip on the 3rd phase.
And that is a key for Dark Torvis.
That insinuates the worst.
Yeah, because we haven't seen a hint for Chaika yet, so this It could have something.
Oh, quick! Prime doesn't have anything interesting going on right now. We're what are we doing? We're trying. Well, we don't have wave beam. We don't have ice beam, so we can't go into deep fen. Yeah, I say right now we're doing some cleanup over here in Chozo. Most likely looking for super missiles. Once we have supers, we're probably going to take a beeline back to Fendrana to get various suit, and then try to find an elevator to Magmore so that we get some more elevator knowledge and get some checks out of the way in Magmore. But no, as chat's stating, worm skip. There is a very, very dumb bug, and unfortunately, it's not a bug. It's how the game's programmed. If you do worm skip on the third phase, you're skipping the cutscene for the item to spawn and the
Yeah.
central item to break.
The cutscene is a layer change in that room.
Yeah, and because you're killing both worms at the same time, that layer change doesn't happen. But we're gonna go out of bounds though. Both Prime players are in the same room trying to go out of bounds here.
Did Bahan not go through the super door?
Super door, the one in Warriors Walk?
Yeah.
Not to my knowledge. It looks like we have TGC trying to perform training chamber skip, or wall crawl. Not a skip. We're gonna go out of bounds and go behind some doors that we can't access, just so we can get some more progression and checks out of the way. And now it's going to pick up the information saying back in my
Joke
day.
hint.
Yeah, we don't need hints. That's a nice little reference to all the other games. Oh.
So,
please,
in the Echoes randomizer, the Luminoff lore has been made into essentially navigational hints to guide you to where you're supposed to go, since Echoes is a little less linear than Prime is with its routing. Now, there are 2 joke hints that are in the pool, and they will be randomly allocated out along with the real hints. So you don't really know what you're going to get unless you've scanned most of the hints and you've been keeping score.
I'm going to point out real quick. Jay unfortunately had to take a death warp. We tried to go out of bounds, but unfortunately, Jay got stuck on some collision in a heated room. And due to the lack of area and energy tanks, it was a death right there. It was unpreventable. And Amber Translator's behind Sand Cache. That's funny. Because normally you need Amber to get Sand Cache. And to answer chat, yes, the Space Pirate log data, that has not changed. That is still the normal text. The only thing that has been changed is scannable lore with the translators. So your Amber, Cobalt, Violet, and Emerald hints have all been shuffled around.
Spider Ball on top of ship.
Why? Why is Spider Ball up there? We don't want it up there.
That is a good find, though, because you want Spider Ball. It is possible to do Emperor Ing 2 without Spider Ball, but generally not feasible unless you are really good at this game.
Yeah, let's not do that. It's almost as difficult as trying to perform Exo Skip in Prime 1. Granted, Exo Skip's a lot more terribly and difficult. It's still on the same level of harshness. And there's our information for a super missile in Sang Fortress transit station.
And Nai is doing the BSJ to get that SDK.
Yep, nice work. Doing the bump space jump. You're forcing Samus into a position where we can get an instant unmorph, perform a space jump, and stand on top of the door's edge, and hence get us a screw attack. And meanwhile, TGC is still going for training chamber wall crawl, having a little bit of trouble getting back in bounds past the morph ball tunnel. But we're so close. We're almost there. And by doing it this way, we are able to peek the item at training chamber and get around the wave beam door. Or correction, ice beam door. So we can just get all the way around and keep going forward. Jay, meanwhile, is moving back through Chozo. We're continuing on the vanilla path. Right now, it's a hunt to get out of bounds, and look at that, we're going out of bounds again. There goes TGC, skipping the wave beam door. We are now back in the heated room, and unfortunately, since we fell down, that's an instant restart. We cannot get up from it.
And there is Dark Beam.
Oh, that's a terrible location. Dark Beam on Warrior's Walk. Putting that cannonball to great use by skipping the the Ink Storm. Unfortunately, all that progress that TGC made, we do have to take a death.
So on the note of Dark Aether, Screw Attack is also very helpful if you don't have Dark Suit. Because while you are in the Screw Attack animation, it's not quite the same, but you take damage at roughly the rate you would take with Dark Suit.
And TGC is going to go on and go to restart. We're going to reopen Homebrew and continue through. Get our save file loaded. No, unfortunately, there was nothing we could have done in Training Chamber. We were stuck. And thankfully, the items were of ill importance. Meanwhile, Nai is moving through Sank Transit Station. He's about to find the super missiles that were hinted at on Baja's side. Now you see an ice beam here on main. Oh, that's really good for Prime right now. As this is in the right position that Jay can just clip back in bounds and go through the ice beam doors normal. We don't need to continue out of bounds. Well, yeah, we still technically do need it. We need to go through the wave beam door. That gets us on the opposite side of Training Chamber. There's the super missile with Prime. And no, this is not a door lock rando. This is a standard rando. Door locks are vanilla. So I could have just been saying the wrong color, and if I was, I apologize. And unfortunately, TGC is all the way back here in Antechamber. There's the boost ball that we hinted at earlier, but we need Ice Beam to get out of Antechamber, as Jay is about to show us.
So the room that Nai is in can actually be a little dangerous with Cannonball. So that gyro right there, while it's spinning, you have Cannonball. You can actually fall through that gyro, and can't really recover from that.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Yeah.
And that is a suit.
Where do you see a suit? Oh, what suit is that? Oh, a progressive. That's Dark Suit. A great first attempt.
And Nai demonstrating that Screw Attack makes you just a morph ball in the air.
Right now, it looks like TGC is either in logical BK due to lack of. What are we missing for?
Ice Beam.
Move? Yeah, I know Ice Beam to get out to get the boost ball. I'm trying to think if there's any other checks he could technically do.
Well, Baja could get that suit, and there is a suit. Suits in both the light and the dark version of this room.
Right, so Hall of Combat Mastery and
Culling Chamber.
Culling Chamber, yeah.
That is Phazon suit.
Oh, that's really good for Prime. That'll get us some easier access into Phazon mines. It looks like TGC is in BK mode until Ice Beam, but we know Ice Beam is over and far sank.
Yeah, there's a lot of progression in Sync at the moment.
And thankfully, due to super missiles with Prime, we are now able to get our Various suit. This lets us get into. This lets us get into a what did I just say? Into Magmor. Duh. And no, I want to take back what I said. This is a standard CGC preset, not a standard preset overall. It's random elevators, which have been agreed on. I gotta stop using the word standard. That's not the right word at all for this. I'm sorry. Please ignore my wording choice. This preset is the new, I believe it's the new CGC rules that they've agreed upon.
Do you remember what was in Aegon Energy Controller?
There was something in A. Shoot. No, I think it was just
Probably
straight
not. I
items.
just don't remember. I don't remember seeing it.
No, I'm fairly certain that was just an expansion. And now he's going to go for a peek here at FTA. We're going to jump at a certain angle underneath the collision to peek at what the item is. Unfortunately, I've got bad eyesight and can't determine what that is. And yeah, Baja's going the exact opposite direction from Sank. So we're going even further away from TGC being able to move.
There has not been a lot of energy in this seed.
No, unfortunately not. But thanks to Ice Beam, Jay's able to get into Furnace a lot easier now and continue through Lower Furnace. And I believe we're going straight for the elevator behind it, with a Curse Lake hiding a life support system.
That's probably nothing, but it could potentially be Gravity Suit or Light Suit.
Oh no, an STK on Spider Guardian.
Hate to see that.
Upgrade. That was either an STK or that was a ETM. But judging by how we're fighting the quads here, most likely it was an STK on Dynamo Works. Oh, great double kill with the quads. That was nice timing. Alright, so TGC is still stuck in Prime. Jay with the Ice Beam and Spider Ball. Most likely we're either heading for a Magmar elevator or we're going for Farfendrana.
So Nai is trying to set up a slope jump into an instant morph into this morph ball tunnel.
Yeah. This trick that Nai's doing on the bottom right is extremely difficult, very precise, and it's amazing if you pull it off in a reasonable time. This saves us from fighting Spider Guardian.
Potentially.
Yeah, Spider Guardian has nothing. But we know a beam related's on Hive Dynamo, but we could out of bounds it. What?
So, fun fact, if it ever turns out that the only item from these 3 checks you need is in Hive Dynamo Works and it's for your partner in a CGC seed, you can actually one-way that item as long as you are on this specific layer with the quads. Spider Guardian doesn't spawn in its arena until the layer changes, and that means those little like Tesla coil things that it bashes into aren't there either. So you can continue through to the portal into Hive Dynamo Works, but you can't get out because once you go back, the layer has changed and Spider Guardian has spawned, and you are now blocked by that little coil.
And right now we see Jay attempting to do a trick called bar skip. This gets us into lower chambers. As unfortunately, the boost spinner that we need is on the opposite side. You're not expected to come through this room.
And Baja is in sync, so about to pick up all of those progression items, starting with the Ice Beam.
Yep, and super missiles are soon followed. Jay having a little bit of trouble with bar skip here. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get a bomb jump into a proper.
Oh, Baja never went back for Spider.
Where was Spider Ball exactly?
On top of the ship.
Oh no, he never went to compound. He never went back after killing Jump Guardian.
So cannot pick up. Oh, he probably can.
We could screw attack into the tunnel.
Yeah.
He's
I don't think you can get out, though.
He's gonna go for it anyway. Looks like we're going to do a triple bomb space jump into an instant screw attack.
I have never seen that. That is really cool.
We needed a screw attack. The slope's just out there for you to stand on. I can't recall the last time seeing that in a race. But fantastic work by Baja there. Jay, meanwhile, still trying to get over bar skip. And as soon as we say it, bar skip is complete. Amazing work. Now this gets Jay into phase on mines. At least that would be phase on mines, but with elevator being randomized, we're gonna find out what it is. Magmore Caverns, great elevator, and we have not phase on Varia. Magmore is always a great place to be. It's a central hub for a lot of elevators. But we're gonna hold on to that for a little bit later while we get some more checks over in Farchozo. And Baja picking up the Dark Suit courtesy of Hall of Combat Mastery, while Jay is going through Backwards Frigate. Now, the problem with Backwards Frigate is we don't have gravity suit. So we're relying on a very precise boost ball to get ourselves enough height and distance to push ourselves down and away. Phazon suit, my friend, we're about to see it over in Culling Chamber. Right in front of where Baja is. Yep.
Backwards gravityless frigate is always fun to see.
Yep. Now, the problem with it, unfortunately, it's a good trick, but it's difficult. You're relying on Samus to bonk her head against the corner of the wall, and the second that corner pushes us ever so slightly down, a boost ball has to be released so that the boost ball carries us further.
Okay, so now this is actually one of the few things about Prime I do know. There's another way to get up this, but you have one chance at it. So that Aqua Sac that Jay was jumping off of, if you blow it up, you can ride the remains as they float up the room. And that makes that jump slightly easier, but if you screw it up, you don't get a second chance.
Yeah, that's dark for a Metroid game. I thought Fusion was weird. Right now, we're just going to continue through Backwards Frigate, doing some checks that we have open to us, courtesy of Ice Beam. I think in total there's 3 checks, so when we need Super Missiles and Wave Beam to get all of them. So if Wave Beam is down here in Crash Frigate, that'd be amazing.
Baja appears to not even be going for the instant morph into the tunnel. Or maybe not. Looks like he's going back.
I could be waiting for the quads to despawn.
Probably.
Alright, Jay is still having some trouble with Crash Frigate.
Oh, that's where the super missile was.
Oh,
under the save station.
transport A access. Oh, I didn't see it the first time I went to fight Albert. It went by so fast. Yep. At least we know. That was hilarious. TGC just going walking right around that nothing item. And now we see our first instance of Torvus. And Nye attempting to do a secretless Torvus entry. This one's one of the more difficult ones. And as soon as I say that, gets its second try. Problem is, your screw attack doesn't have enough height or length. Yeah, its height. To really get all the Seeker nodes due to one being pushed further back. So we have to shoot both of them with a missile, 1 and 2, while the other 3 get damaged by the screw attack. It's precise, it's tricky, but it is completely doable as seen with Nye. When Sonic Boom all the way on the top of Root Cave.
That could be very helpful if they have to fight Grapple.
What's that?
Sonic Boom.
Yeah, if they ever need to fight Grapple Guardian, yeah.
Sonic Boom will actually damage Grapple Guardian during its pain animation. So you can skip essentially the entire second phase of that fight by hitting him with Sonic Boom while he's screaming.
That's hilarious. And, oh, TGC got first try bar skip. Congratulations.
Nice.
And now TGC is also going for backwards frigate into possibly Artifact Chamber. Or Artifact Temple, so that we can get our artifact hints. As once we get out of backwards frigate, it's a straight line to Artifact Temple. Ah! Cobalt Translator underneath the water in Torvus Lagoon. That's funny.
Well, hey. With Cobalt Translator, you can now go check Underground Tunnel. And we know the thing about Underground Tunnel.
It always has progression. But Rico, we don't have gravity boost. How are we expected to get that?
So what Nye is doing is a very fun little trick called air underwater. So it is a frame perfect trick where if you morph at the exact frame you enter water, the game will not load the water properly and you will be able to do the screw attack underwater as if you were in normal air. Now, the downside of that is, for some reason, doing this also messes with the power beam. So your power beam will not... It will fire a shot, but it will act as if it hits a wall immediately as it's fired. It doesn't do this for the other beams, though. Just the power beam.
And it's key to note, in order to lose that state, either 1, transition to a new room, or B, just get out of water.
Yeah, you unfortunately generally cannot carry the air underwater state into another room.
But no, I like what both Prime are doing here. They're trying to get through Crash Frigate backwards. This gets them into to the front of Crash Frigate. And this, well, we don't have Wave Beam. How the hell are we expected to do that?
And we see Baja in my least favorite room in the entire game.
Oh, Watch Station?
Yep.
We're getting some sound balance complaints, though. They're saying I'm way too quiet and you're too loud.
I can't really do anything about that.
Yeah, let me see if I get a mic setting here. Hold on.
And Baja gets that instant morph into the morph ball slot immediately, but forgets he does not have Spider.
Oh, I do have a volume control thing on this. I never noticed that before. What is that? Is that a little bit better, or is that too quiet? Never noticed that switch before. Okay, well, what about that? How's that? Does that switch? No, it doesn't sound any difference. Dang it. Okay, let me try a different button then. Let's go over here. All right, while I work on that, Rico, you can tell us what's happening for all 4 runners.
Well, our prime runners are still in frigate. While very doable without gravity, it sucks moving through water without gravity for the most part. It does make some tricks easier, like slope jumping is kind of ridiculous if you don't have gravity and you are underwater. And we have Nye in sink entrance. And I looked away right as they were looking at the item, so I didn't see what it is, but it looks like they want it. Or not, just getting the hint. And there is Gravity Suit in Cat West.
Well, we could have gotten that a while ago.
Yep, but that probably makes you feel a lot better if you're TGC right now.
Absolutely, this makes getting through it a lot easier. Tremendously so. But either way, that's... Okay, what about now? Is that still too crunchy? That's the worst adjective I could have ever picked for that.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what happened. I think I had my gain setting too low on this thing. You know what? I love
Hey, well,
Yetis.
what do you know? There's that gravity boost.
Where do you see a gravity boost? Where's the gravity bomb? Why is it? At least it's in Torvis. Abandoned worksite gravity boost. That's terrible.
So that Cobalt is now in Logic.
All right, folks. We're about to get our artifact hints over on Jay's side on the top right. We're getting information that overgrown cavern leads to Thardis and Quarantine Cave. And we have an artifact here on...
Alcove.
On Alcove, thank you.
Usually the first check in the game.
Gotta love Scandashes. Yeah, Jay's making the right play, going straight for artifact hints. We already know where 2 are, Central Mining and Alcove. Now we're going to find out where the other 7 are.
Well, Jay already has 4, so...
What do you mean he's already got 4? Wow, I missed 2 of them then. I only have notes for 2. I'll figure it out. And the secret launcher in Sanctuary Fortress. Thanks, game. We already have it.
I don't think they do. I think they've just been skipping it.
Oh, you're right. We haven't. I don't know why I thought we had it. I see so many secret doors, and well.
So that's essentially progression in Underground Tunnel.
Yes, it is. All right, let's find out. What do we have missing today, Jay? We're missing the following: Watch Station, Ing Reliquary, Dungeon. Ing Reliquary, Dungeon, Watch Station, Under Transit 1. And there was another one I didn't get in time. But TGC is going to show us what they are. Dynamo works, thank you.
So...
Required spider
all in
guardian.
Echoes.
Yeah. Yeah, so doing doing the skip for that STK was absolutely useless. Out there, there's the information on Alcove. Watch station. Being Reliquary, which we knew about.
And as
Dungeon.
Nye has not picked up Dark Beam yet, he is doing this fight out of bounds to avoid a potential crash. So in normal vanilla, that translator gate to underground tunnel is not on the initial layer before the pirate fight. And that can potentially cause crashes if you leave this fight undone. And that cutscene reposition allows you essentially to skip the dark beam door as long as you can scan that elevator to get back down. Which, that looks violet, so Nye is in the clear here.
Alright, so currently our game requirements Echoes. Echoes needs light suit, dark visor. We need boost ball, which we have. Spider ball, which we have.
Well, we don't have boost ball. We have cannonball, so close enough.
You're right.
We actually still have not seen Echo's boost.
Oh. We are currently missing dark visor, light suit, and boost ball for Echoes to do anything. Artifact-wise. But in the meantime, we'll pick up some unlimited missiles, courtesy of Ivok.
And there is the second joke hint.
And we're going to find our
SDK hits.
keys. Yep. We should already have 3. We know where 4 are. Storage Depot A. Triclops Pit. Research Lab Aether. Plane of Dark Worship. And Main Quarry. Along with Central Tower. Alright, so right now I'd say that the logic train is Prime, you're trying to get over... Prime really wants to get into Magmore, you got a lot of checks there, which you're able to get. We're at Magmore Caverns West, so right on the money. Echoes, meanwhile, I would say clear out some Sank, get some Torvis out of the way. You really need to make a play for lower Torvis when you can. Once lower Torvis is out of the way, try to find your boost ball, light suit, and dark visor. Once that's done, go on a key hunt. Current, I see a question. What bosses are dead? Well, first have the STK and Triclops Pit. And information on the Dark Beam, which we already have.
We have not seen boss hints yet, I believe.
No, we have the information for Chica and a Morbus.
Okay, what is Chica?
Inghive Key 3.
Oh, okay.
And Plasma Processing hides absolutely.
You know, that would be a logic chain if, like, Quad was actually something. It would expect you to fight a Morbus to get the Chica key to then get the Inghive key.
Yeah, that's a really dumb train. And sadly, we cannot skip Chica keys. It's impossible at the moment. And there is the spider ball that Baja's been looking everywhere for. Vanilla Annihilator Beam? It's possible. Or we could have Dark Visor hiding over in Magmore. Which we just found on my side. And TGC is most likely about to pick that up as well, following the Magmore loop. No, Dark Visor is not on Omega Pirate, I'm sorry. Dark Visor is here over in Magmore.
And there is double damage for Baja.
Yeah, Jay's going through the hints again.
And we have Nye fighting a Morbus.
So we'll also get that key information then. So right now, Echoes, at minimum, has to fight Spider Guardian. And can we see a successful worm skip? We're getting close to it. Yep, successful worm skip. And thanks to Amber, we're going to access Great Temple through Baja's side. But no, right now it's just a hint for major items. Prime, major-wise, we let's see, we have Phazon suit, so we don't need to find that anymore.
Don't drop at night. Okay, there we go.
Well, let's see, we're still looking for Wave Beam that gets us into Fen Labs. We do need Wave Beam for mines in a few areas as well.
And Prime.
And Prime, yeah, we need Wave Beam, period. So I'd say right now we're missing X-Ray Visor and Wave Beam for Prime to really be in go mode.
And Nye is about to pick up that Dark Beam. Probably gonna hurt when he realizes how long this has been in Logic for.
And Baja's out of bounds once again. Ooh, what a thunk.
Yeah, Baja doing the same out of bounds that Nye did earlier.
And thanks to the cutscene, it puts us right into the temple. But right now, no, it's just a major item hunt at the moment. We have the information we need. It could be on a handful of bosses that we absolutely need to fight. Prime right now needs Wave Beam and X-Ray Visor to make some dents.
Nye has not gotten hints yet, so Nye does not know where his keys are yet.
Nope, Baja's the only one. And Echoes right now is in the hunt trying to find Light Suit. Oh, excuse me, it's been a long day. So once we find those items, it's beeline for hints. If I had to make some choices, to answer chat, Phazon suit was located in Cooling Chamber on Inghive.
Well, you know, with Cannonball, you don't need Light Suit for Reliquary because you can just Cannonball through the Inkstorm.
Yeah, but once you unmorph, have fun.
I mean, Baja's got a lot of energy. He'll be fine.
Yeah, but there's a light beam door you need to get through on the opposite side of it. That could pose a problem coming down the line. If I had to give Prime a logic train right now, and nice job with TGC shooting the robot without X-ray. Normally, you're not able to see it or hit it, but if you're able to destroy it out without it being technically spawned in, as you can't really see it. But thankfully, we can still hit it while it's there. There's the Chica hint. Oh, and TGCs don't have a good maze. That's a pretty long one. Not the worst, but it's all right.
Oh, was that Boost Ball in Life Grove?
I didn't see.
And there is Wave Beam.
Yeah, Echoes. Oh, there's Echoes boost in Life Growth, so yes. Prime is in really... Jay's in a really good position now that he has Wave Beam. If I had to make recommendations, do Farfen. You start on Nice Roads east of all places. Warp back, do your loop there thanks to Wave Beam. Go through labs, get that cleared out. Then make a beeline for mines. Clear out mines. As right now, we're still missing Light Suit. That could be a number of places. And we do need Research Lab Aether, so we do want to get there sooner rather than later. Main Quarry, it's not terrible. Central Tower's okay.
Do we know which elevator leads to mines?
I know there's one, but I can't recall which one it is specifically. I believe it's Chozo West to Mines.
Who needs Seeker Launcher? Not Nye.
Nope, Nye the guy, continuing through. Yeah, because I'm looking at these hints. They're not bad. Echo just has a lot of work ahead of them.
There's the Amorphous hint.
We know where Light Suit is. Light Suit is somewhere in Torvis Bog. Okay, so with that information, TGC doesn't really need to go to mines at all outside of Main Quarry. I don't even think. What? If I had to go for a loop, you already did Triclops Pit. I'd say go back to Fen, do Research Lab Aether, go for Main Quarry, then Central Tower, and then head back to Frigate so that you can get to Artifact Temple. Echoes, meanwhile, yeah, they just got a long list of nonsense ahead of them. Meanwhile, we are seeing a Tower of Light play by Jay. And opting to use scan dashes to get on the outer rings of the tower and jump all the way up top. And just to find a nothing item.
Tower of Nothing.
And unfortunately, due to the lack of gravity suit... No, we do have gravity suit. Never mind.
Jay does not have Gravity Suit.
No, well, right. TGC is the one who got sent to. And
Baja did not pick up TGC's Phazon suit because he did not have Spider.
No, so Baja's got to go back to Calling Chamber. And the information for Seeker Launcher and Sank, that gives them good incentive to go back. Yep, those are the predictions at the moment, Chad. If you have anything different, by all means, let us know. Because right now we got a lot open to us and a lot of different ways we can go about collecting it. But Grand Wind Chamber's done, Shows of Ice Temple's done, Bioenergy Production's done, at least for Baja. The AGC is about to come across Boost Ball and Wave Beam. And thanks to Baja being here in underground tunnel side of Torvis, this gets us some good access to Boost Guardian and Torvis Plaza. Meanwhile, as stated previously, due to Wave Beam, Jay's moving through Ice Ruins East and making a way towards labs over in Fendrana. The hunt right now is for Light Suit, which we know was in Torvis Bog, so it's no need for that. Nye's about to go get his key hints, courtesy of Out of Bounds Seekerless.
Yeah, so that door is only seeker locked from one side. So if you can get to the other side of it, when you open that door, it will break the seeker lock.
And now Nye's about to find out how bad his STKs are. We have one in Phazon Mines, one over in Fendrana, another in Sky Temple Grounds. Throw another one out to Phazon Mines. How about two in Fendrana? So yeah, right now I'd say Jay, just go clear Research Lab Aether, get out of the labs when you're done, and make a beeline straight for Phazon Mines to get the last two keys. Then go for Crash Frigate and get this game over with. TGC, on the other hand, has got a little bit more work to do, but roughly the same path. Get to Fendrana, then do Mines, and then get out. And we're finding out Torvis Plaza
Is
hides the
light
light
suits.
Oh, Torvis Plaza is a terrible check regardless of what's on
And
it.
that was first try for Baja on the skip.
Okay, so we know it's an upper Torvis, not lower. So that means Baja, all you need is... Well, you've got translators, you've got that, you don't really need Cobalt.
I think Baja can get everything now.
Yeah, I'm looking. Central Mining Station, Dungeon in Reliquary, under Transit 1, Dynamo Works. Yeah, no. Baja's officially in go mode.
Yeah, there's the gravity boost, so I think that was the last thing they needed.
That's it for Lower Torvis. Yeah, Baja's officially entered go mode. And yes, he still doesn't need to go back for Phazon.
Yeah, but he could pick that up on the way to Dynamo Works.
Yep. And Jay performing a nice trick here. We're going to skip the pirate fight but once we enter the top of this room from the elevator, the second we enter the room, per se, a fight starts. So we're going to just barely stay in the doorway and use that to jump over the pirate fight trigger. So great work by Jay in skipping it. Thankfully that trigger only happens on one side of the room. Continuing through, we see the Metroid in the little containment unit. We're going to blow it up. And there's the SDK over in Research Lab Aether. And then he take behind the glass while Baja moves into dungeon to get another key. Current standings, TGC is running on 4 artifacts, while Jay is also riding on 4 artifacts. Baja holding 5 keys, while Nai is ahead by 1.
Baja now holding 6 keys.
Yep. The second I say that. And yes, Baja did go back for Spider Ball. And a nice screw tech bonk back into the water. And Nai going for another secretless door skip, this time over near a cursed lake. And he gets the first try. Oh, that's not a cursed lake, that's near Ing Reliquary. And again, pointing out the usefulness of Cannonball. Normally, you would need Light Suit due to all that immense damage that the Ink Storm gives you. But thankfully, Cannonball helps minimize it.
Yeah, there are a couple areas in these rooms where the Ingstorm does not reach, so if you know where they are, you can shoot that Inkcast from relative safety before jumping into the storm to get the item.
Yes. And meanwhile, Jay's made his way back over to Frigate. We've gone out, and we're going to continue through Chozo Ruins to get some more. Probably make our way over to Phazon through Magmore. Meanwhile, Baja's cleaning up Torvus Bog, most likely heading for... Probably gonna do Sank last. I assume there's a Sank elevator here in Torvus, which he'll take after doing some cleanup.
Well, that's a way to pass through that room that I never thought of. I'll have to remember that.
Going from underneath training chamber or sacrificial chamber.
Yep.
Yeah, it's always a nice little skip. And can we see a Thardus fight? Yeah, I think TGC was trying to avoid Thardus by going with a dash, and he fell into the room. Well, here's a Thardus fight for everyone. Now, where's Thermal and X-Ray? That's a good question. We have no idea. But thankfully, Thardus, rocks that he's vulnerable to, they can be destroyed without needing them. You just can't lock onto you can't lock onto them, so you do have to manually aim. And no, Nai is not in BK. He's just progressing through. There's a lot of checks open to Echoes. They can practically access everywhere in the game.
And Nai hasn't gotten the progressive suit hint yet, so he doesn't know that he's in the right area now.
But I suspect, thanks to Spider Ball Boost Ball, he'll be going to check Plaza regardless. And then Baja picking up the key here on Pod W. Plane of Dark Worship. And I'm sorry for all your trouble today. You receive 1 energy tank. How do you feel? Well, personally, I feel ripped off. And please don't fall down. Alright, so Quarantine Cave is all done. We're going to go over to Quarantine Station. We're going to check behind Thardus, see what he has thanks to Wave Beam, which is an elevator to Talon Overworld. And the item on top of the track. As we check behind the ice, looks to be another expansion with information on the progressive suit and Nye being in Torvis. Now he knows he's in the right area. It's a matter of which location is it, Nye? And we see here that thermal visor, unfortunately, is hiding an expansion as well. So we're just going to climb this room and leave. No need for air underwater, courtesy of gravity boost. Meanwhile, Jay progressing through the entrance of Phazon Mines, as we do need to get into main quarry and get that little STK. While TGC picks up the key off thank courtesy of Research Lab Aether. And there's the main quarry STK. And no, unfortunately, at the moment, TGC does not have Phazon suit. Phazon suit is hiding over in Cooling Chamber, which Baja has yet to go back to Sank.
Baja is going to Cooling Chamber right now.
That works beautifully. And TGC also pulling off a pirate fight.
Baja is in Cooling Chamber.
Alright, there's that Phazon. And there's the STK courtesy of Central Tower.
And that is all 9 STKs.
Ashlyn, you really want to know how this is going? This is going absolutely terribly. Baja has all 9 STKs, but we're not done yet. We still have a lot of fights to complete. As at minimum, we do have to go fight Spider Guardian for a Dynamo Works key. We need to go back into Reliquary for another key. We need to go do dungeon for... Oh, we already did dungeon. At this current moment, if I had to put money on it...
I think Baja needs to go back for Watch Station.
Yeah, Orange versus Green is currently in the lead due to their routing. Jay, unfortunately, we're still missing three artifacts. I's missing 2 keys. The rest of the keys are thankfully in Phazon Mines, so we're in good standing here. So neither of these runners are out just yet. It could be any team's game. There's one more STK courtesy.
And Baja going for the trick again.
Yep, we're going to go into Spider Guardian backwards. And TGC making his way through Fendron and Drifts. We're most likely making a beeline for him to enter Phazon Mines as well.
And Baja has the artifact.
There's the Artifact of Sun. And yes, I believe I would agree. Nice thinking the artifact. No. Thinking that the suit is here in Lower Torvis, while Torvis Plaza is still accessible. Most likely, Nye's going to end up doing all the Lower Torvis checks before thinking of coming back to Upper Torvis. Baja, meanwhile, heading to Watch Station access, connecting to Watch Station, and grabbing that last STK. Or correction, artifact. Say goodbye to Resbits. We don't need them. We don't want them. And Nye's going out of bounds here on Lower Torvis. We're going to screw attack into Transport Tunnel South. I can't suspect why we're doing this here of all places. I believe we do have Gravity Boost in hand.
And there is the watch station artifact, so I believe the only one left now is Reliquary.
That would be correct, my fellow friend. Thankfully, leaving it to the very end, right by Sky Temple grounds, this gets us easy access into Gateway. So Baja will most likely be the first one to complete their game. Jay's moving towards Quarantine Cave for Thardus, and heading for the elevators, followed. Nye, meanwhile, is moving out of bounds to Trading Chamber. Or nope, I believe we're in Gathering Hall. We're doing this to skip the Gathering Hall puzzle. Which is not a bad puzzle, but it can take a little bit of time. And say hello to Thardus. We're going to go right around the room. We don't want to fight him. We're going right for the elevator. And it's funny how that laser goes out of bounds, though.
Well, walls are kind of meaningless anyway at this point.
That's fair. If I had to take a guess, Nye's most likely doing this either to A, skip the Gathering Hall puzzle, or B, to get into Dark Torvus. Courtesy of Crypt. Meanwhile, both Prime players are currently heading back through Chozo. They're attempting to get their last amount of artifacts, which are locked in their game. Baja is missing one artifact courtesy of Vang Reliquary. That's the last one he needs to go get before completing the game. Nye, yeah. No, I was wrong. We're doing this again to Transit Tunnel South, as it's Annihilator locked on both ends. We don't have Annihilator Beam. Very smart play. So right now, Prime's practically set. They don't need to do anything else. They can wait at Artifact Temple, as all the rest of the artifacts are in Echo's games. But right now, what TGC's doing, even though he's got all artifacts in hand. No, he doesn't. We're still missing in Reliquary. What am I saying? I'm thinking of a different trick. Sorry. Annihilator Beam has not been located. We do not know its current location.
At this point, I'm thinking it's probably vanilla.
That would make the most sense. Oh, it's somewhere in Sank. But no, not having a hard time trying to get through TTS without Annihilator. There's that last artifact. And now TGC is moving for the kill on Ridley. And to answer chat, no. Boost Guardian was not defeated. We did not go to Dark Torvus Arena. We did not kill Boost Guardian. We did not Pesco. We did not collect $200. So, say hello to Meta Ridley. And we're going to go for the quick kill on Ridley. We're going to try to get him to land faster by waiting in this corner. And then we're going to use Boost Ball to hit his toe. Thankfully, Boost Ball does immense damage to Ridley. That was never properly left out due to testing. So once Ridley lands, we can boost into him and cause massive damage. While listening to this amazing soundtrack. And fantastic boost ball hit on by TGC. You hit him right in the toe, right in the mouth. Boom! It just took off his jaw. And there goes Ridley in a matter of seconds. Absolutely fantastic. And the only reason we needed Phase on Suit was so we can get through Impact Crater. That's the only reason.
Well, you can't damage Prime Essence without Phase on Suit. Well, Phase on Beam, technically.
Yeah, who needs that little thing? Right now, it's just a hunt. Nice about to enter Torvus Plaza and find that ill-forgotten light suit. Unfortunately, he does have to go all the way back to the dungeon, though. So right now, Jay is just on standby mode. The rest of the artifacts are in Echoes, but there is nothing that Jay is able to do to get this to go faster.
And we have TGC entering Prime Exo. Prime Exo requires all beams, while Prime Essence is intended to require all visors.
Yeah, but thankfully we can skip the all visor requirement with manipulation. As long as we have the phase on beam, say goodbye to Essence. All right, phase one of Exo is complete. Now we go.
Meanwhile, Baja is approaching Sky Temple.
Yep, he's got all the keys. It's pretty safe to say orange versus green will be the victors in today's race.
Baja will most likely be the first player to finish, as the Echo's final bosses are much quicker than the Prime final bosses.
Yeah. Echo's bosses are defeated in a heartbeat.
Probably before I'll even have time to explain what he's doing.
It's possible.
And we see TGC going for some extra snipes on Prime. So you have a brief window when Prime is running by you and turning after you've completed one of the beam phases to get a couple extra hits in with the beam you were previously using before Prime changes colors. If you have Ice Spreader and you land your beam snipes, you can essentially skip an entire beam phase. With double damage, it only takes 2 super missile hits to pass Emperor Ing phase 1, and with Cannonball, phase 2 is not really something that you have to worry about. Because as stated previously, you cannot be knocked off of Emperor Ing's cocoon by the inglets or the tentacles if you have Cannonball, because they cannot damage you. So for phase 3, what Baja is going to do here is Baja is going to screw attack under Emperor Ing. So there was initially going to be an extra phase where Emperor Ing would raise a barrier and would have weak points around essentially its kneecaps. But they decided to scrap that. Except they never removed the hitbox for that shield. So you can still just screw attack into that hitbox, and for some reason that hitbox is linked to Emperor Ing's normal health pool. So every time you pass through the hitbox doing screw attack, you damage Emperor Ing. And this is much faster than fighting it the intended way.
And just as you finish saying that, the fight is over. Knife has gotten a little bit stuck on the dungeon portal. So what Knife's trying to do is there's no collision underneath the left side of the wall guarding the portal. So by doing a screw attack bonk at a specific angle, we can clip ourselves through that non-collision barrier and just enter it anyway. And yes, Emperor Ring 3 is defeated by breaking its kneecaps.
And Baja is entering Dark Samus at around the same time that TGC is entering Essence. So what Baja is doing is he's bringing Dark Samus's health down to roughly around where the S is in the name. And from here, he's going to attempt to screw attack into Dark Samus as she lands. If he does enough damage, this should... Oh no, going to super. Super works too with double damage. So if you do enough damage, you will essentially skip the trigger to progress into DS4, and you can keep going through DS3. And you want to essentially fire missiles to make Dark Samus raise her shield, which will stick her in an animation, and you can get hits in with, hopefully without triggering the transition. Though that was very beautifully done by Bob.
That was amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, there is
1G.
Yep. There is unfortunately always a chance that Dark Samus will just tank a missile and transition to DS4, and there's not really much you can do about that.
Yeah, thankfully that didn't happen here today. Amazing stun lock work by Baja. Sending our attention over to back to TGC real quick. So as stated, we need the visors to technically see and lock onto Prime Essence, but due to some manipulation, we're able to detect where Essence will spawn in at. And if we can pinpoint her exact location, then there we go. We have the scan point for her. We can lock our beam to that position and just fire the hyper beam at her, thankfully damaging the Essence. It takes a while. It's going to be some time, but it is completely worth it in the end due to the lack of visors. Trying to search all over the game to figure out where they are. And right now, Jay's going through the artifacts, trying to figure out which ones are missing. Sadly, though, we still need the artifact off of Spider Guardian, so no matter what Nye does, another trip into Sanctuary is required.
Oh yeah, that sucks. It looks like TGC got pool skipped on the combat visor phase.
Oh no.
So, based on where Prime is in the room, there are a couple spots where it cannot drop a pool because of the terrain. So if it tries to drop a pool in that area, you essentially lose a damage phase.
And we see Jay writing in Power Beam pellets. GG, F, and an exclamation mark. And some angry eyes. I really want to know where the thermal and X-ray are now. By that stated, we don't technically need the visors. It just makes this fight a hell of a lot easier. We just got to try to pinpoint where Essence spawns in at. Oh, and thankfully we get the combat visors mode. We get combat phase.
So, since TGC can see Prime, he can use some of the more advanced canceling strats to do more damage to Metroid Prime. He's essentially trying to make the pool last as long as possible and cancel all of Prime's animations once they start. To do exactly that, bring him essentially to another pool without Prime getting a chance to hit him. And I'm sure that explanation would have made a lot more sense coming from someone who actually plays Prime.
That's all right, you know. We did our best. That's all we can ask for. And as long as the viewers at home had a good time, then it's a job well done. But right now, Jace just pending. We're waiting for that last artifact so we can get into the Ridley fight. Nai, meanwhile, is trying to get over to Sanctuary to grab Spider Guardian. Let's see, Dark Visor, Echo Visor was vanilla. It was on Airy.
Annihilator Beam was Hive Dynamo Works.
Oh, that's terrible. That's even worse. So Airy was vanilla. We never needed to fight it. Yep, we're also missing the artifact of a Pod W, it looks like. Yeah, and Seekers locked in Sentinel's path. That means we were never going to get them.
And there is Essence down.
151-55. GG. Orange versus Green has been declared this cross-game cup victor. I do want to point out, with those Seekers in Sentinel's Path is Echo locked. So we would have needed to fight Airy to get Seekers, to get through all those Seeker doors.
And you also would have needed Annihilator Beam from Hive Dynamo Works.
It's fair, because it is an Echo puzzle. You can't activate it without. So Spider Guardian and Airy.
Yeah.
So bear with us for just a second. I need to find the right button to hit. There we go. Sorry, I had to find the right button. So we're gonna see what we can do to get some invite links sent out to our folks over at Orange versus Green. Meanwhile, Nai is going to continue through, and as soon as I hit that button, welcome, Baha. How are you today? Oh, we're still working on it. It seems.
Oh, you got one. Hello.
Yeah, there you are. We can hear you now.
Thermal Elite Control Access and X-ray Plasma Processing.
Yeah, y'all were never going to get that.
So I heard in the closing minutes there that Echo or Seekers were in Airy. Where was Echo then? I missed that in my own credits.
That's Rico. Do you want to tell him?
No, Echo was vanilla. Echo was in Airy.
Oh, Echo was in Airy. Where was Seekers?
Seekers were in Sentinel. So
Sentinel's Path.
Yep.
Oh God! And then where was Annihilator?
Hive Dynamo Works.
Oh no!
Yeah.
All right, so you were meant to be locked in Sank for a million years before you ever got Torvus access. Logically.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna see Nai attempt to do Spider Guardian backwards, though. And hello, welcome.
Mush mush.
So, at TGC, since you generated this hullabaloo, anything you want to say on behalf of it?
from what I hear, 80 was required. So masterpiece. What can I say?
Logically speaking, yes, it was.
Yeah, Airy was vanilla, which was required for Seeker Launcher in Sentinel's Path. Annihilator Beam was in Hive Dynamo Works.
Ugh.
Good content. Yeah, I was telling TGC earlier that like the seed was so jet. If I had pulled off that play to take the portal in Command Center, like the seed was so good because I would have gotten a bunch of mages in a different order that would have like let me route more efficiently, which would have let me get the power bombs to TGC in time to get the wave beam, and we would have been schmoovin'. But fortunately, we just decided to assume that wave beam was there and go get our hints, and we ended up being correct. Would have been pretty awkward if wave was not in Life Grove.
Yeah, but I think it kind of worked out for us in the sense that because we kept Life Grove being in mind, being the only logical check I technically had access to, us going back for it and finding us in a position that we were basically in go mode just meant I wasn't wasting wave-related checks for a good chunk of stuff. Because like there's a whole lot of like Fen that I didn't touch, there's a chunk of Mines I didn't touch. There's a few outstanding like Chozo stuff that I didn't touch as well, because it was basically wave beam go mode for us.
Yeah, I do kind of think that like after you got your hints, I was probably supposed to get my spider and then do my Sank cleanup then, because like I needed to come back to Sank to get like this, which Nye's working on, Watch Station and Culling Chamber, and like so I could have routed in all that and then just gotten Spider Guardian out of the way. Like we'd lose the Spider Guardian fight or time loss, but at least at that point I know that it's wave and Life Grove and we can go get it at our leisure.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thankfully you had a fun time trying to find your spider ball of all places.
Yeah, I mean, we knew where it was as soon as we got the hint, but it like wasn't worth playing for when my prayer was just please don't put the actual item in Sank. Like we knew it unlocked Sank, and I was just like, please don't put the good thing in Watch Station because I can do everything else there without it.
Well,
like
Where was Cobalt in the end?
Torvus Lagoon.
Oh, oops.
Did you walk past that?
No, I never walked in there.
Oh, there we go. There it is. I see what I did wrong. Okay.
Hey, Baha, TGC.
Hello.
Do you mind telling me where the hell main PBs are?
Those weren't
What
that
Prime
bad.
main PBs.
We never saw them.
We got them.
Hey, you got them after I bar skipped and started doing reverse frigate.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you did it too. Nice.
Were those not in Sank?
I think so. Because you were in Sank at the time.
Because listen, I played around Wave BBK so long until I got a goddamn PB expansion in Magmore. I did not have Wave until like 1 hour 10, I think.
Yeah, it's about. I think I actually got wave after you, but we were in wave go mode effectively by the time because I'd done a chunk of stuff already.
We knew that my artifacts would like say if Knight pulled off dungeonless light suit dungeon or like light suitless dungeon, we would have been in wave. We wouldn't have needed wave, but we didn't know about the SDKs. And yeah, the SDKs required wave, of course. But the thing that like the red herring me and I encountered was the hint for light suit in dungeon. Now I got the dungeon, or like not in dungeon. In what is the like light?
Huh?
Yeah, we got the suit hint in catacombs. That was bad.
I see chat pointing out what Nye did. If I'm correct, that's mini gyro chamber he decided to fall down into.
No,
That's what it looks like.
It is.
I went down.
It's Dynamo Works.
It's
Oh, I'm in the wrong one. I'm looking at the mini map. Yeah, long story short, if you fall down in either of those two rooms, you're not getting back up safely. Could take a good headache.
Oh,
Unless
is Nye,
Nye
was
just-
Nye going for the out of bounds method of getting this?
Yeah.
Yeah, plus fuck that and more.
He tried
I
for a
used
long
to
Wow.
be good at it, and then I somehow lost all of my muscle memory for it.
That's
Don't worry.
happens.
My final bosses, my essence was like the worst essence I've ever had. I've not done that in a good 3 months or something.
I need to fucking
So TGC, my dear friend, if I may say something, I don't want to do this ever again.
Well, you didn't
That's,
like it?
This
This
was
is two
so
races in a
bad.
row. This is 2 seeds in a row you've generated, TGC, which you've been banned from.
No. I don't mind
Yeah, this is
TGC's
a
gen
bad
quality. Like, I'm used to Renovania spitting out trash. I just despise rando elevators on Prime only already. And Multiworld just makes this a permanent headache, and I don't have enough ibuprofen for this headache.
I don't blame
Just get
you.
stronger ones then.
No, I'm
Nah,
a big fan
the-
of random elevators. I think they're interesting.
I think random elevators are interesting, but Nye already pointed out not doing
Random
random
gates
gates again.
I can
Just
that
random
being
gates just
said-
make this worse.
Well, one of the things I want to do after this is I'm going to put like a thread in weekly discussion to discuss what we think worked and what we maybe want to kind of consider. So I am open to kind of tweaking the settings until we find something we're happy with.
Also, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
And I'm not sure how frequent this will be. That's something I'll also discuss because we only get it's a bi-weekly thing. It's every 2 weeks that we're doing one of these. So I don't know if I want to do it standard alt. It might be a series of standards and then like an alt every 2 months kind of thing. We'll see. We'll discuss that.
Something I want to point out: if we want to do this again for Prime, maybe add only a certain amount of random starts so we can evade stuff like, oh, I am Graphless NSJ in Fendrana's Edge. Oh, this is going to be a time. What was that first scene?
Your
That
first
was
seed was ridiculous.
I
All
was
your
like,
majors locked behind the ice.
I was like, oh yeah, I wanna please spawn in Fen. I don't want mines. I'm spawning in Fen's Edge, NSJ, Graphless. I'm taking the back now. I wanna be in mines. I'd rather spawn in MQB than spawning in Fen's Edge without space jump.
Yeah, that's not fun. I
But
guess
no,
with
that
that being said,
Yeah,
say
that
what
seems-
now?
Thinking back on it, like for the Prime side of things, I don't think it was terrible for Prime. I think it was just like a heavy lifting on echoes again, which is the usual. But by the time that we ended up in our kind of go mode, there wasn't really much left for us to do. It was just kind of cushy, but there's not really much I could say from Prime's perspective. It was all simple, other than failing Thardus skip. That was funny.
I
said
saw
to
you
Baha-
fall down.
I said to Baha as I'm walking in the room, I'm going to do Thardus skip because it's faster and lets me double check the elevator. Let's not mess this up. And what did I do? I fell off.
You fell down.
Got an E-tank though, so it was kind of worth.
For the Prime side, I have to say, Prime Elevator's bad. Where the hell is Talon? Like, oh yeah, I love not having wave beam and having to do reverse frigate to eventually get hints.
My timing on the items mid game was so bad. So like TGC walks by Life Grove, gets far enough into frigate that he can't turn around, and I send him power bombs. Gets halfway through frigate, through all the bad rooms, I send him grab suit.
Wait, what was Grav?
Wait, where was Grav?
I don't remember.
Not far from power bombs, so if you didn't find those,
Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't find them.
probably just. Did you not clear much of Sank then?
I could never get to upper Sank because we got Dark Beam like an hour and 10 in.
Okay. Yeah, I think they were both
We-
in upper Sank then.
We got dark. It was so hilarious, and I was like, "Oh, dark beam," and I'm like, "Oh, wave beam."
I remember now.
Like, in the
ATS.
same moment.
ATS.
Yeah,
straight
aerial
up wall,
training.
That was main PBs.
And Grav was Cat West.
Okay. Yep.
This was bad on so many levels.
Yes, it was.
oh,
Like,
it's
hey.
fine. Just go where the items are, as Baha always says.
I
Like,
was,
hey, look, there's your screw in my space jam plasma lock. So plasma will be next, right? Oh yeah.
No.
Okay, now I have a chosen elevator. Let me go in there. Oh wait, I don't have bombs. Oh wait, I have one check left in Ice Rooms West. Hey, look, my bombs.
I've
God.
had now 3 restreamed races where the taking the command center like one-shot portal has been good, and I've missed the trick 2 out of 3 times now. I'm so angry.
Well, at least you tried, you know.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been so good. Like with the sequence broken supers, it was such a good route, and it would have netted Dark Beam immediately. I was so sad. Yeah, and then I made a bunch of silly decisions afterwards because I was a little tilted about that. But worked out.
Yeah, y'all had a lot of fun with Out of Bounds and Secretless door skips.
I mean,
Every single one.
There wasn't really much else for me to do for some time. Like, I evaded, from my side personally, I evaded BK as much as possible, and like, I sequence broke a lot of stuff. But when I didn't have ice, there wasn't much I could do, so I just started breaking the game to how I wanted to be. Just wall crawling anywhere and everywhere.
I've got a question for Nye.
Mhm.
So I'm looking at the trackers and I notice both you and Baha have 3, 1, 2, 9 on keys. Did you also do a Morbus for a Chicka key?
Yeah, I didn't know it had it, but yes, I bought a Morbus.
Did you get the Chicka hint?
Not for a Morbus yet.
I got a good chuckle out of that when I got the Chicka hint afterwards.
They're like, a Morbus will go in the same type key. Chick is gone. No, Morbus got a Turtles key. Chick is got
that was-
name type key.
But that was so
Do we know what
annoying.
Quad had?
I don't think we
Quad,
saw
No,
as far as I'm aware, Quad had
I never
nothing.
learned what Quad had.
But it was so annoying because, oh, do we do Dark Labs first or do we do Morbus first? I'd say a Morbus with all those keys coming in back to back to back. Yeah, you're probably right. It was a Chicka key. And we know Chicka is dead? Yeah, Chicka has an Inghive key.
Yeah, Chicka
Oh.
was dead.
Ah,
Right.
Well,
I'm gonna love these
I
and
guess-
leave these because my headset's about to die and I'm also getting a little hungry before it gets too late. So, GG's.
yeah, GG's.
Congratulations.
Dang cat.
Yeah.
And I'll catch you all next time for another CDC Weekly 2 weeks from now, but on Saturday.
Mhm.
Standard sends.
So next, so in 2
beyond
weeks
the-
we have Prime Weeklies again? Let's go!
Correct. All right. So, I guess with that, is there anything either of you four would like to say for the final?
Yeah,
I guess
last
it's-
match. Oh, okay.
One at a time now.
You go first.
All right, last match of the Swiss round of the Mentor Tournament coming up right after this on this channel, so stay tuned for that. We got Bowman against user 0013. Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
I guess at this point I need to get myself a t-shirt with a custom print that says I'm getting punished by Torvis Plaza. Because it became a regular meme. God damn it.
Well,
It's
Torres
always
Plaza
Plaza.
itself's a terrible check.
But it's always Plaza.
Well, it doesn't help. I did everything but Plaza, so
I mean, to be fair, at the point where we got that light suit hint, and I was about to do light suitless dungeon, then
Oh, yeah.
we had like 4 or 5 checks in Lower Torvis and Plaza.
you're already in Lower Torvis. It made complete sense to do Lower Torvis while you were there.
Yeah, the problem is I even walk crawled to TTS and got trolled twice. So
Yeah.
that took out like 2 or 3 minutes on its own.
But either way, everyone did a good job today. It was great. Rico, my friend, anything you want to say as well?
No, that was a very entertaining seed to watch. And if I had been playing it, I would be nowhere close to being finished. So you all did very well.
With that, any questions from anyone, Rico? Any questions you want to ask our fellow runners here? Or do our runners have any questions they want answered?
Why,
No.
PGC?
Baha, did you manage to keep Cannibal?
Yes, I think.
Did you also do the gate skip there? The transport center gate skip?
No, I told TGC to delay picking it up, and then he went back later when he was in BK.
Damn it! I was
we
like,
didn't have a choice.
Oh, unfortunate.
I like rolled out of the tunnel, and in the same moment I am morphed because like usually it's perfectly fine to pick up the item fast, right? And in the moment I am morphed, I just read cannon. Oh god damn it! Not again.
It might have worked out if he'd picked it up for me first pass, because I think it would have probably been the difference in me getting into the portal, in which case it doesn't matter, because I had sequence broken supers before doing Dark Labs, so I could have just gone all the way to jump right in from there and kept Cannonball. So actually, maybe it was bad that I told him not to grab it. But yeah, hard to predict those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just walk crawl to transport center and skip the gate in portal terminal.
Oh, nice.
Well, alrighty. I guess with that being said, Rico, anything you want to send off, my friend?
No, not really.
No? Okay. Well, I guess we'll start closing this thing out then. Well, thank you everyone for joining us here at Speed Gaming once again for another wonderful Cross Game Cup Weekly. It's been a heck of a time, but unfortunately we do have to close this out as Speed Gaming 2 is being used by another channel. We have our, what was it, Baja? We have a Swiss match coming up directly after.
That's right. Yeah, last match of the Swiss rounds of the tournament. We'll be moving into the brackets after this, so should be a good watch.
Nice. Stick around. If you want to see some more Metroid action, more than welcome to join us. If not, you have the run. You can follow the runners below. You can follow us as well if you want to hear us talk to you even more, or join our Discord join our Discord for more interesting times, to put in the nicest terms. Well, we've been Rico and Marion. We've been guiding you through this nonsense. TGC, Jay, Nye, Baha, thank you for an interesting time. It's been one hell of a 2-hour run. So with that being said, join us here next week, coming up on April, what time is it? April 20th, we'll have our Echoes Weekly again, this time with standard settings. And the 21st, we have our hard settings for the Prime Weekly. So stay tuned for those two coming up next week. And on that note, we'll see everyone in the next mission.
Take care, everybody.